Assalamu alaikum. This is Rokia Samia welcoming you all to the English news from BTV Chattogram. Let's begin with the headlines. International Crimes Tribunal sentences Sheikh Hasina to 6 months in jail in contempt of court case. July Charter can be formulated by mid-July, hopes National Consensus Commission Vice Chairman Professor Dr. Ali Riaz. Seven people died and 165 tested positive for COVID-19 in Port City in last 1 month amid corona surge. "109 Palestinians killed by Israeli forces in attacks across Gaza Strip as Trump announces Israel's ceasefire acceptance." And Bangladesh batting against Sri Lanka in first 3-match series in Colombo. Viewers, those were the headlines. Now moving on to the details. Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus has urged the United Nations to develop an effective mechanism to fight disinformation and support media maintaining ethical standards. The Chief Advisor made the call when Susan Wise, Head of Office and UNESCO representative to Bangladesh, and Mehdi Benchala, Senior Project Officer, Freedom of Expression and Safety of Journalists Section, UNESCO, called on him at the State Guest House Jamuna today. The UNESCO officials met the Chief Advisor ahead of the launching of a report titled An Assessment of Bangladesh's Media Landscape, focusing on free, independent and pluralistic media, jointly prepared by UNDP and UNESCO. The Chief Advisor said, "Our main problem is disinformation, fake news. Some of this disinformation is spread by people living outside. Some local people are involved. It's a continuous bombardment," he said. Mentioning that regular media are also a source of much disinformation alongside digital platforms, the Chief Advisor sought a UN role in the fight against it and said, "You just don't talk with the government, you also talk with media." The Chief Advisor stated that independent regulation is necessary, adding that if a media outlet continues to spread disinformation, the outlet should be reminded that it is not trustworthy. UNESCO representative Susan Wise said that the report that it was launching Thursday would highlight the issue of self-regulation among other things. The International Crimes Tribunal convicted and sentenced ousted Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina to 6 months in jail in a contempt of court case. The 3-member ICT-1, led by Justice Muhammad Ghulam Murtuza Mojumdar, pronounced the judgment. Chief Prosecutor Muhammad Tajul Islam, State Defense Counsel Amir Hossain, and amicus curiae A.Y. Moshiuzzaman took part in the hearing today. Meanwhile, the prosecution has formally submitted a charge sheet to International Crimes Tribunal 2, accusing 16 individuals, including former Member of Parliament Saiful Islam, in the case of burning 6 victims' bodies following a mass killing in Ashulia. The National Consensus Commission resumed its talks with political parties for the 8th day in the second phase, aiming to build unity on the recommendations of various reform commissions and formulating the July Charter as soon as possible. The meeting officially began at the Foreign Service Academy in the capital. National Consensus Commission Vice Chairman Professor Dr. Ali Riaz said it will be possible to reach a place for the Charter by mid-July. The meeting was attended by Commission members Justice Emdadul Haq, Dr. Bodiul Alam Mojumdar, Dr. Muhammad Ayub Mia, Dr. Iftekharuzzaman and Safar Raz Hossain, and Special Assistant to the Chief Advisor Monir Haidar. Representatives of 30 political parties including BNP, Bangladesh Jamaat Islami, Jatiyo Nagorik Party (NCP), Gano Odhikar Porishad, Ganasanghuti, Communist Party of Bangladesh (CPB), Biplobi Workers Party, Amar Bangladesh Party participated in today's discussion. The foundational period of New Bangladesh is the days of June, July and August of the last year. This defining moment, which changed the course of Bangladesh's political landscape, has made a place in people's heart as 36th of July. These glorious days, marked by immense sacrifice and unparalleled courage, hold immense significance for the people of this land. On this day in 2024, the momentum of the quota reform movement spread beyond the campus of Dhaka University. A previously announced mass protest march turned into a wave of demonstrations. A large protest rally began in front of the Central Library and paraded through Nilkhet Science Laboratory and Bata Signal intersection before ending at Shahbag. Agitated students blocked the Shahbag intersection for an hour. There was also a blockade in Old Dhaka. Students of Jagannath University staged a protest by occupying the road in front of the university main gate. In the afternoon, students from Jahangirnagar University blocked the Dhaka-Aricha highway for 20 minutes. They also announced a 2-hour sit-in program on the same highway for the coming days. Meanwhile, students of Borishal University blocked the Borishal-Kuakata road for an hour. From all these gatherings, students issued warnings that tougher programs would be launched if their demands were not met. In the early stages of the movement, students did not expect the government to be so hostile to their demands. Starting from early July, a strong network among students across the country began to form. Under a centralized plan, protests continued. Due to the anti-discrimination student movement's strike, academic activities at all universities across the country came to a standstill that day. The Election Commission has disposed of more than 9 lakh applications for corrections to national identity cards in the last 6 months under a special crash program. Election Commission Senior Secretary Akhtar Ahmed said this at a press briefing at the Election Commission office in the capital's Agargaon today. Raising the progress of the crash program, the EC Secretary said now only 76,694 NID correction applications remain to be settled. As of January 1st this year, there were 378,806 pending NID correction applications. Between January and June, another 6,05,520 new applications were submitted. Of the total 9,84,356 applications during this period, 9,07,662 have been disposed of, leaving 76,694 still pending, he added. The government of Japan and the United Nations Development Programme UNDP have signed an agreement to bolster Bangladesh's efforts in ensuring free, fair and inclusive national elections. The agreement signing ceremony was held at the Bangladesh Election Commission Secretariat. Ambassador of Japan to Bangladesh, Saida Shinichi, and resident representative of UNDP Bangladesh, Mr. Stefan Liller, signed the agreement in the presence of Chief Election Commissioner A.M.M. Nasiruddin and Director General of the International Cooperation Bureau, Ishizuki Hideo. Under the agreement, Japan will provide $4.8 million to strengthen the institutional, technical, and operational capacities of the Election Commission. Welcoming the support, Election Commissioner A.M.M. Nasiruddin said the initiative will support the Commission's efforts in enhancing voter and civic education, increasing participation of women, youth, and marginalized communities, and upholding transparency and integrity throughout the electoral process. 5 more individuals have tested positive for COVID-19 in the last 24 hours out of 161 individuals tested in the port city of Chattogram. Civil Surgeon Office sources said with these new cases, the total number of coronavirus cases in the city has reached 165 in the past 23 days. Coronavirus tests are currently being conducted in 11 different laboratories, including the Chattogram Medical College Hospital RT-PCR lab. Currently, 78 infected patients are undergoing treatment at various designated hospitals. Out of the total 165 infected people, 150 are residents of the port city and the remaining 15 are residents of different upazilas. So far, 7 individuals have died in Chattogram district. Civil Surgeon Dr. Jahangir Alam Chaudhary said the health department is prepared to prevent corona infection and urged people from all walks of life to avoid crowds and wear masks. Now, international news. Israeli forces have killed at least 109 Palestinians in attacks across the Gaza Strip, including 28 who were shot while waiting for food parcels at the U.S. and Israeli-backed Gaza Humanitarian Foundation (GHF) sites. They are the latest victims in a wave of daily killings at these sites, which have killed nearly 600 Palestinians since GHF took over limited aid deliveries in Gaza in late May amid a crippling Israeli blockade. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump claimed that Israel had agreed to the necessary conditions to finalize a 60-day ceasefire. Trump wrote on his Truth Social site on Tuesday that the U.S. would work with all parties to end the war on Gaza during the ceasefire and called on Hamas to agree to the deal. Israel's war on Gaza has killed at least 56,647 people and wounded 134,105. The United States Senate has passed a sweeping tax bill championed by President Donald Trump, sending the controversial legislation to the House of Representatives for what could be a final vote. Lawmakers passed the bill by a 51-50 vote in the Republican-controlled chamber on Tuesday, after Vice President J.D. Vance broke the tie. The successful vote ended what was a marathon 27 hours of debate in the upper chamber. 3 Republicans joined with Democrats to vote against the bill, which would enshrine many of Trump's signature policies, including his 2017 tax cuts, reductions for social safety net programs, and increased spending on border enforcement and deportations.